Dave, a fantastic win against Chesterfield last weekend. There must have been a real buzz around the training ground this week.
Yeah, I think not just around the training ground, but you could probably feel it straight after the game in the stands. It was a real privilege to be a part of that. Obviously I'm in that player coach role, so I get to see the build up before the game, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and to come on the right side of a result against them was a real big one for us. So I think the lads knew how much it meant to everyone.
And you mentioned the sort of coach role you've got. With those results, like the win over Chesterfield and some of the other results we've had recently, does that make it even more special for you with being a bit more involved with that side of things?
Yeah, I think I get to see what really goes into every game, the turnover of the strengths and weaknesses, going through how we're going to set up, how we're going to stop them, and how we're going to exploit them as well, which is the more important thing. And they've recruited so well that every game they go into, they're in the game, and with that support that we have behind us, sometimes we feel unstoppable, definitely.
And how much of a difference does that make when you're actually playing, like knowing the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition?
Oh yeah, massive. We know in possession, out of possession, what their kind of game plan might roughly be. Of course, there's tweaks and that's why we love the game, is that it's not black and white sometimes. So going into the games and having that blueprint, and then playing what you see sometimes, and the lads are well drilled. Every week there's patterns of play of how we can combat some situations, and then be on the right side of exploiting their weaknesses as well.
And how important is it now to take what we did on Saturday and take that into the upcoming games, starting with Gateshead on Saturday?
To be honest, I don't know how the lads do it. Every game they go into these games, and it's just they're up against it. We've got 2 subs the other day, and I know it's obviously well documented. The facilities that we have, and obviously the management team have been different class, and obviously I've been able to see. I did this role last year at MK Dons, and to see what they put up with this year is just ridiculous how they actually function at a high level. So going into this game again, we're confident, and we can beat anyone on our day, even though we know Gateshead are a good team.
Of course, you've been back in the team the last couple of games back playing. You must be really pleased with that.
I love it, and I haven't played really for a while. Obviously against Maidenhead was my debut for Southend. There was quite a few years between the last time I played, so getting back out there, I've loved every minute of it. That buzz of playing and feeling like you fit into a team, and I do feel like I have fit into the team very well. Saying that, you've got Colin there, who's a very good young and up and coming goalkeeper, so he'll have a big future as well. So he's been training near enough fully now, so we'll see when he actually can be fit enough to actually go into the team.
And what's it like playing behind such a strong defence as well? Ollie Kensdale's been ever present this season. The likes of Harry Taylor, Nathan Ralph as well have been excellent. So that must give you confidence playing behind players like that.
Yeah, they've all got really strong attributes, but they're all good individuals, but they're a good team as well. I've played in teams where they've had really good individuals and not quite succeeded the way they should have, because they haven't blended all their talents together, and that's one thing I think. They complement each other, whether it be ball playing or whether it be heading ability or strength, or so it's the way they've recruited. Obviously with John Still and the manager has been different class really, and you see that on a Saturday is they're a proper team.
And just a word on Gateshead. They've obviously lost their manager a little while ago, but they've sort of kept up what they were doing, still right up there, and they've had a couple of really good results in the last couple of games. So it'll be a tough one, won't it?
Yeah, I think they've got that blueprint, and it shows you really what a good manager Williams was. So it's going to be a tough result. Obviously, they've got Rob Elliott there now. He's probably carried on the same thing, and they've had, like I said, really good results, even the other night against Solihull. So it's going to be a tough one away from home. But like I said, we go into it every game now thinking that we've got a chance, and it's really nice to play in a team like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
David, what's it like, coming into the team when Colin got injured, and then Nick Hayes comes in, does brilliantly well, and then suddenly you're back in the team again? Is that something you just have to live with as a goalkeeper because only one of you can play?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment in time, the circumstance that Southend are in, with only having one goalkeeper in the squad, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't know how it can be fair. a goalkeeper gets injured in the game. I mean, Colin was injured before the game really against, and managed to get through it somehow, and it's detrimental to the players really. But it shows Colin's done really well up to that point of getting injured, and obviously Nick came in after me. Obviously I played them 5 games, which was 5 games in 15 days, which was a tall ask. But you know, we got through that period, and then you know, Nick did brilliantly as well. And then you know, obviously he is loan finished, and I think Colin, you know, is not far off now. And I think that balance of having me, the senior one, and obviously Colin as the younger one is a good match. And obviously I'm getting my hours in coaching as well, so I feel really connected to the players, the manager, and the supporters, and the club in general. So you don't really, you know, I've had a 20-year career now, and not everywhere I've been, you feel that connection. But here is really strong with all the, obviously under the adversity they've been under. It's kind of a bug that you get, and it's a great feeling to be a part of.
Yeah, we can definitely see that. And going back to your kind of player coaching role and having maybe a little bit more insight than the players do, you know, goalkeepers always, you know, are happy to shout at their team. But is there an impetus on you to maybe, you know, you've already shouting at your back four, now have you got some responsibility to get some, you know, details across to the midfield if needed?
Yeah, I think the way the manager sets the team up anyway, everyone kind of knows what they're doing. It's the small little details that you might see in the game a little bit quicker. So it's been able to organise, even within possession, you know, moving people around. So seeing 2 or 3 passes ahead. Because I've played in different teams where we've gone long, I've played in teams like MK Dons where they play a lot of football. It's given me a real strength here to be able to mix it up, which I think Southend do really, really well. So they've got some really great, you know, midfielders in there. Obviously with Noor, and obviously you've got Kens. All of them can handle the ball really well. So it's sometimes just giving that experience. And then when you are under a bit of pressure, it's just, you know, taking that pressure off of them sometimes. Just letting them know that you're there, where the men are. Can you come and get it? You know, is it, you know, just giving them clear direction, whether it's them to deal with it or I'm dealing with it. And unfortunately, you only get that with experience. And that's one thing I do have. So. It's been good to really feel like I have made a difference without being too arrogant about it. But you know, like I said, Colin is on the way with that as well. So if I can give my experience to him, where we sit down with his clips, you know, before the game, you know, what's their strengths and weaknesses, their strikers, which we have done this season with him, and also, you know, post game of going through everything that he's done in the game, every time he's touched the ball, could he improve that moment? And I think if you're going to go to that next level, that's what you've got to kind of look at. How can I be better?
Makes sense.
I was going to ask you about Gateshead. Obviously, they've got a former goalkeeper as their manager at the moment, which you don't see that often, do you? Is that something that you think may be more common, or with goalies, do they go into goalkeeping coaching, and where do you see your sort of own future?
Yeah, I think obviously I know Rob quite well. I was at Wimbledon as a youth team player, and he was at Charlton, and we went to the same college. So I know Rob quite well. You know, I'm really pleased to see him in that kind of management role now. I'm sure he's played at a very good level for a number of years, so he'll have great knowledge of the game. It's a great time to obviously take over a good team. And hopefully can carry that kind of vein of form. Probably not against us on Saturday, but no, I see it's always nice to see another goalkeeper doing well.